Wow. Hello everyone. Um it's been a long time since I have gone live. So, I'm going to get through this. It's not going to be a very long live. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Um because I've had a lot on my mind. I plan on doing maybe a video down the road to explain a little bit more, but I'm to the point where I am just tired of hearing things over and over about me and want to set the record straight. Um, I'm going to start from the beginning as a quick scenario. I have no ill will or never did towards two Lees. Hi, Lisa Ann. Yeah, I haven't been around for a while, have I? Um, but the drama that's going on, I've been trying to stay out of, to stay in the background. I speak my mind in the chat when I feel I need to stand up for myself. Um, and I keep doing me, and that's that. But when I met two Lees in a pod, I seen her in George's chat, and it was a time that I was enjoying it and doing auctions and getting things out there, and I was enjoying it. And I did it for a couple of channels, and then I moved on to get swamped, and I enjoyed that. When I met Lisa, or Fleesa, whatever you want me to call her, she calls me by my name. I'm not going to hold back. She, I thought she was somebody that was, fun. She was chatting. I was getting to know different people. Hi, Peggy. Um, and we got to know each other. But from day one, I probably didn't pick up on it. She was the type saying that she sold a house and she was buying another house, but then that house fell through. And then this house fell through. Whatever, everybody tells their story in a chat. We all listen. We all like to think everyone's telling the truth. But we have learned down the road that people don't tell the truth. And they make themselves out to be somebody they're not. Well, as I got to do in Robbie's auctions, I was connected with Lisa and we started talking. And I thought we genuinely had a connection as a friend. And I became closer with her and whatnot. And she got to know my story, I got to kind of know her story. She opened up to me a little bit, which again I thought was being truthful. I have been nothing but truthful with Lisa. I do have a disability. I did get hurt. I have a wonderful son that's now a young man. And I never thought in a million years that I would be able to go on a trip to Florida. And Lisa did make that worth it for me. I will never, ever be ungrateful for that trip. I enjoyed my time going to Lisa. And yes, she paid for my ticket to come down there. She and Gabe let me stay with them. We did many different things. And I went to the farm. There's a video about the farm. My son's face lit up. And I had a great time. I'm not going to take that part away. But now to tell the lies and fill in the blanks. From day one, Lisa had always told me, and I always heard Gabe and Lisa bicker back and forth. And she was like, oh, that's our relationship. But it was always back and forth and lying and controlling and basically having a hold on to watch Gabe. While I was down in Florida, I'm going to start here because she wants to call me an addict, which I think is hilarious. That Gabe did tell me a story sitting out on the porch having coffee one morning that he was clean for 10 months. And Lisa walked out and did not like that she heard Gabe telling me this. She did not want me to know that. And she was very adamant that if I spoke a word to anybody, there would be trouble. And I kept that to myself. I kept it to myself. Wasn't my business. Nothing to lie about. Nothing. No reason to tell anybody. at that point. Fast forward through, I come back, and it seems, I became alive on her. I was on her channel during her lives and different things with Kendra and her cousin. And slowly but surely, I just felt that I was being kind of mocked, picked on, put down in little ways. And anytime I would try to express that, it was basically put back on me. It's all in my head. I'm making a big deal out of it, whatever. And I had many people message me about that. And trying to stand up to Lisa was very difficult. So I would bite my tongue because I didn't want to argue and it was going to go nowhere. There's a lot of little things that happen in between. Just like when I got down to Florida, I was told that Lisa had a car that was up in Daytona that she did not want to drive because she couldn't drive over a bridge. And I offered to bring the car, go there and pick up the car and bring it down. Because I could understand why we were going to rent a car when she had a car up in Daytona. Well, that was because the car was repossessed. And she finally had told me that. And I remember the day, and she could sit here and lie all she wants, but we were actually in the swimming pool and my son had heard it. And she finally admitted it to me and told me that she was embarrassed to tell me the car was repossessed. Months later, it had come out when we could fast forward again, when her and Gabe were fighting because he felt that she was spending too much time online and up all night. And he was getting up, supposedly working here and there and different things. And he basically was tired of seeing it and her not pulling her weight, that he left her. I stood by Lisa's side. Didn't tell anybody. She was afraid that she was going to lose the place she was staying because she had to leave there for 3 months. Because she had to find another place for 3 months because it was already rented out for those 3 months when the landlord allowed her to re-sign the lease back. So she moved to another place, which right then and there too, I could tell you, when she signed the lease with the other place, she lied and signed that for 3 months, and she didn't care. I mean, for a year, but she knew that she would be there for only 3 months. But she did anything possible because she was afraid that she was going to be homeless because Gabe had left. And she had barely any money. But at the same time, she was out spending things and worrying about what she was going to do. And she moved back over there. So many little things happened then. So when Lisa finally went back to the other place and Gabe still hadn't come back, I was on the phone and she'd be crying, wanting Gabe back. And she didn't want to hear anything about if Gabe would or would not come back. And I can tell you, Gabe relapsed. And it came out. And she was afraid, and she had told me and her cousin. He did that about 2 or 3 times, running back to her, and she allowed him to come back in. I also know that she had told me that Gabe had been using since the day they met. Because that's how the car was repossessed. Because she had the money to pay her ticket, her car note. But Gabe called begging and wanting the money and promised to make it back the next day. And that's what Lisa would do, is hand over the money. Gabe would get his fix instead of paying your car note. And if I said, well, why didn't you just not tell him you don't have the money or you paid your card note over? Oh, he'd bug me all night. He would bug me all night. So I had to do it. Well, I'm sorry. I would make sure my card note was paid before handing my drug money over for drugs. That's my part of what I know. And it's humorous that Lisa wants to sit there and claim that, Gabe doesn't use drugs. Again, it wasn't my business to tell. But the reason I'm saying it is because now Lisa wants to tell everybody that I'm a drug addict over and over and over. And I heard it again 2 nights ago. It gets to me because Lisa knows my story. Lisa knows what I'm on. I have no reason to lie. I don't touch drugs. I've been under the doctor's care for almost 20 something years. Um, Everything that I use is prescriptioned. I have something called RSD. It is very painful. It doesn't just go away. And Lisa wants to sit there and say crack pipes fell out of my closet. I don't know where she would ever seen that because I never really ever had my camera on when me and Lisa would talk unless we were showing something to each other. So first off, that makes no sense. Nor did I remember ever being in my closet. So it's just humorous that she has this story. My crack pipes just falling out of my closet. When that's the same choice of drug Gabe does, which I've heard was numerously times in her car of the truck that she was driving when Gabe left. And she found. Then you want to talk about my son and bring him up again. Well, the funny part is you want to bring my son up to it is my son was 9 when we went to Florida. I have never hid that my mom and me don't have the best relationship. I grew up in the house I live in now. I've grown up here. I stay here. It's a big house. My son has the same school system, do whatever and whatnot. But we do butt heads. My mom and me, like I said, don't get along, and there's wording back and forth. Eric's 9. He's afraid. And Lisa would always say, well, why don't I move out? And I said, well, because it's very difficult when you don't have a big income and this and that. And she wants to turn it around. It's like I yell and scream at my mom. And I'm not going to ever say I didn't yell at my mother. But when you stand up for yourself, and if you actually knew my history with her, it's mentally abusive sometimes. So it takes a toll. But my son wasn't sitting there crying, saying that because I'm unstable and can't take care of my mom, as she says, or my son, and my mom is here and cares for my son, which is completely untrue. And my son can stand up and tell that. My son and everything he has is because of me, and I care for my son. My son was in my care when I was there. And for Lisa to sit there and say that, she was basically wanting me to move down in Florida because Gabe was leaving her and she needed an extra income to pay some of the rent that I had found out later on. So it became that factor and saying that I would always have a place to live. Yeah, exactly. Everyone yells at their mom. I was a daddy's girl, so I was very close to my father more than my mother, and I lost at a young age. So we never had a mommy-daughter love life, like love connection that people, I said that wrong. I'm tongue-tied there. But, you know, there's so many things that Lisa likes to spew and lie about. And I think that's all she can do. She doesn't know the truth if it bit her in her ass. I have papers I can sit here like that. I know I'm kind of all over the place and I'm trying to remember what to say, but I can't put this in a timeline and I might do that still. But I figured putting it in here, at least I will get it out. Lisa, if you go back and through the videos, she has demolished me and made videos back in the day before this whole drama with Jeremy Hills and all that. And I didn't have the strength then and I let it go. But to keep dragging me into it, again, makes no sense. Again, she mentioned the other night, about my son again. I did not coerce my son to make that video and say the stuff he said about Lisa. My son has been involved, has heard things because of what I went through with her and because of what she put through the school system. I never said Lisa called DCF on my son. I said somebody did call my son school and repeat the things that were told to Lisa. And the only way that they could be told and known was because they were told to Lisa and nobody else. And Lisa had taken that information and shared it. And I'm not going to throw the person under the bus or name people because I don't even know if that person's around right now. But I do know who called And to do that and make false accusations and have a DCF worker show up at my house because of it is wrong. And it didn't know. I have the paperwork. I have done a video on that before. That it went nowhere. It was case closed. They came, they talked. I had nothing to hide. But again, it did stem to do with the drama of Lisa. So she could sit there and spin it whatever way she likes. For Robbie to back up, I use drugs as a humorist, which we could go down that road. We would make jokes and everything. I don't deny that I smoke here and there. It's not illegal in the state of Connecticut. Yes, being disabled, my legs aren't the best sometimes. I throw a pouch out my window. She wants to mention that again. Yeah, I do it for other things too. I have people that bring me snacks over. I do it for DoorDash. I throw a pouch out the window or a string and they tie it and I pull up my order, especially when I'm alone and I can't do the stairs. But Lisa wants to turn that around and say that is because of drugs. Lisa, you wouldn't know again because you'd never seen it. But I've been nothing but truthful and I have no reason to lie. I have no history of being arrested for drugs. I've never been to a rehab for drugs. I have nothing in my doctors that I abuse medication. So wherever Lisa wants to get her information from is nowhere. She's making it up. The same thing when I was down in Florida, she wants to use, and she stated this again, was that I was in the bathroom for a day and a half sick. I was, yes. There was no way physically possible that I was withdrawing. I had all my medication on me. And you can withdraw from medications that are prescription. But guess what? I still had plenty. It had nothing to do with that. I was at Robbie's farm. And again, let me just gonna put this out there. I never signed a waiver to go on Robbie's farm. Just saying. And I'm disabled. But I went down into his storage place and I sorted through things with Z and went through things to put into lots for his auctions. I will tell you that Lisa sat in the car with the AC driving around on the property because she would not get up into the trailer to help sort. Now, I have knees back, this, that. I'm not going down. But I had Z help me and got in the trailer. I got up once and I came out once because I couldn't do it. But I otherwise went through all that stuff, sorted lots. And then when we were done and had it, my son had taken it and put it and loaded up the truck to bring it up to the main area. Not realizing that coming from Connecticut to Florida, the heat is different. And I got dehydrated and had, oh God, now I can't even think. What do you call it? I got, guys, I had mind blank. Where you get heat stroke. Sorry. And at the moment, I didn't know, but I woke up in the middle of the night and just had chills and shivers and didn't feel good. And I just couldn't hold anything down. And I felt awful because I was supposed to go back to Robbie's. But I was out in the Florida heat for a couple of days and also sweating in that trailer that the heat had gotten to me. And when they say the next day, I felt fine the next day. The reason it kind of came back was because I had overdone it again a little bit. And then I tried to eat something and I wasn't there yet fully. But she wants to claim I was withdrawing. I love the spin. And because Robbie was on the phone, like he would be at night, making fun of me. That's real nice to make fun of somebody that's throwing up and sick. That just helped you. I can go down the road with Robbie and the things that I've done, and I'll put out there because he's another one, and I'm going to say it, is, yeah, I did get paid for the auctions. And we and him had our deal and whatnot. And to this day, Robbie does owe me money. And they're probably going to hear this and spin it. Go for it. I know my truth. I've walked away from it. You know, I don't have a lot in life of financials, but you know what? I will never scheme off anybody. And that gets me to my other part. Yeah, I was on Lisa's auctions and I sold very minimal. Nor did I have a Cash App, or I had a Cash App, I had PayPal at that time, until I figured out a way to correct it. And at the end of the auction, I would have to wait for Lisa to give me the money. And that was a hassle. And then some. But she would also send it to me in a Cash App. So when you want to sit there and talk about my son and the money that you owed my son, Lisa, because of a tambourine that he rang on New Year's, and she made a joke about, oh, you can get super chats. You can help me get super chats and ring the tambourine every time a super chat. And she was basically thinking it was cute and bringing super chats. Well, the people that wrote super chats for my son, there was only 3 or 4 of them. She had promised my son, and she had just really started out with YouTube at that time. And she said, you know, you have to wait over a month because I get paid, you know, once a month from YouTube, which was fine. But I had asked her, as long as you said that, I don't want my son, you saying it to my son and then not do it. Because if you're not going to do it, I'm going to pay my son the money. Because I had no problem doing that. But again, he was a kid and it made him happy. But to say that I took his money for drugs, again, you wouldn't know what I used my money for, Lisa. Second of all, my son could tell you that. And the activity that I have here, and again, I can post it up on the community page, which she has shown the activity of a Cash App that Lisa posted. Not one time on this list that Lisa posted says for Eric. It does not. And I can tell you these are the charges that people sent me for payment of items that they purchased. Now, when she wants to talk about Shadow, and she's going to hate what I'm going to say now, and I have many that will back me up on this. Shadow became my best friend. That we were so close right to the end, and that girl will always be my best friend and is in my heart every day. Before I knew her, she did send me money in the chat. And actually, back up before that, my son's birthday, we went live. And she super said that she wanted to send my son a gift. And she sent $50 from Lisa to Lisa. And I got that. Never denied it. And it went right to my son. And then when I got my car payment, she wanted to fix my car because I had a broken wheel bearing. She sent the money without me even questioning it, had no clue, put tears in my eyes in the chat and didn't really know her yet. Lisa sent me that money. I've never denied that. Shadow was on the phone with me when I had the car fixed. But then my car broke down 3 months later again. That it just died. That car was nothing but a hassle for me. And I made a GoFundMe because Shadow had talked to me and somebody else and told me, you know, and I spoke with Robbie. And Robbie told me he would promote it on the channel because, again, I see so many people in the community that look good and that not look good, that have big hearts and look out for one another. And what I thought was a community. And all these times I felt accepted. And I see everyone helping other people. And I need to be able to get to doctor's appointments and things like that. And I live in a place that doesn't have a bus route. And Robbie said it. Well, the GoFundMe didn't go anywhere because Lisa blocked it and started telling lies and got Robbie to turn on me and did everything possible to spew that I didn't get the money from Shadow. Yes, I did. It was a total different problem. And the GoFundMe went nowhere. But Lisa could be out there scheming people for thousands of dollars and not give it to the person that goes to it. But you want to sit here and block me and say that I did that I think my GoFundMe got $100. And again, that was from one person, from two people that each sent me 50 to start it, because, and Shadow was one of them. To sit there and think that Shadow, they want to talk about Shadow and think that they were so good to her. I know the truth. And that's all that matters, because I know the two people that Shadow loved dearly. And I would give Shadow the shirt off my back, because that woman did everything for everybody. And then the way she was treated was awful at the end. I spent nights with her to keep her comfortable. She was there when I was in pain and I was in need. And it didn't matter. We never mocked, made fun of each other. And that friendship was real. And to turn around and say that things that they have said and think of her and fake and what she did for those people is disgusting. And I'm not going to keep going on about it because I will cry. But I do things because I care and I choose to. And again, give the last thing, if it was to anybody, if they are in need. And that's why I didn't want to talk about that. But again, Lisa wants to make a website about me and my son. Go for it. Talk about me. Go for it. Lisa, your true colors have been shown. So you could lie about me and keep spewing the lies. I'm not going away. I deserve to be in chats. I deserve to be out on YouTube and be with people. And I've kept silent. I always believe the truth will come out and karma will bite you in the ass. You have lied about more things about the next person, the next person, the next person, and the truth keeps coming out about you. That just proves it. You sit there and I'll sit there and tell me you want to put me on a website and put pictures of me out there. Whoopee, yeah, I'm holding a bowl of smoke. You want to sit there and tell me crack pipes fall out of my closet. That's your husband. I'm not going to talk. I haven't talked about you. All I'm going to say is keep my name out of your mouth. Keep my son's name out of your mouth. Same there with Slobby Robbie, whatever the hell you want to call him, because he's no perfect person. I don't think he's no clean person either. And got secrets there. And I know, and here's another thing, and that's why I said I'm going road with it. I have paperwork sitting here and timelines of things, but gets me because of what I heard the other day again. And when you bring up my son, that's going to be Mama Bear first. Because, yeah. And, oh, Lisa, I didn't lie about my son. Yes, he was 9 when he went down there. He was 12 when he wrote that video, made that video. He will be 14 coming soon in a few months. So guess what? I didn't lie about my son's age, which is ridiculous. There's my other best friend, Peggy. There you go, Peggy. And I keep myself quiet. But you guys think that people that you didn't want and turn against me and you treated like shit became my best friends that I don't use. I have never changed. I am real. I'm the same person I was. And the only people that changed and lied is you, Fleesa. You. You, Slobby, Robbie. You. Tori, that wants to sit there in the chat too, I'll bring you up too. I did nothing but want to have fun on my channel. Sit here and make it lighthearted. Gave me something to do. I enjoyed doing auctions and just talking to people, but I wasn't allowed to talk about myself or my disability, boo-hooing. And then the other thing is the people. Yes, there was drama. Yes, total drama. But if somebody had messaged me on Facebook and it was something about Robbie's channel, and I know that Peggy could probably back me up, that I never responded unless I went and told Robbie or Lisa. Lisa basically told me I had to involve her. Everything, Lisa had to be involved. Lisa had to be told. Lisa had to be, it was like I had to go through Lisa. And when I had stopped, Lisa didn't like it. When I realized I could be my own person, I didn't have to, because then it started getting tiresome because she had to run back to Robbie and tell Robbie before me, and then tries to tell me that I had to be involved in everything. No. Well, let's not talk about the time that I wanted to be left alone, or I said I didn't want to do a live, but then got mad because I wasn't around when I told her I wouldn't be around, or when she sent the cop to my house to do a welfare check on me because I wasn't answering the phone. But I can't not answer the phone for a day because, God forbid. So people on Facebook would send me things that I thought were unethical or causing drama. And I had them in black and white, and I would tell them. They would tell me to hold the auction or change the bids or try to make it go to that. And I would not do it. I was 100% ethical and truthful when I would call an auction, because that was the only way to be. I wasn't going to try and fudge the auction to give it to whoever's messaging me back in the, weeds over there on Facebook, sending me messages. It wasn't my place. Okay. I'm allowed to talk to other people. I'm allowed to tell my side or how I'm feeling when Lisa was doing certain things to me. But no, you talk about Lisa, watch out. She's going to get rid of you, like she said, and I hear her say it many times about other people. And if I did, hell would break loose. There was never any getting through to Lisa to explain your side or get her to understand. Or when I try to ask Robbie something and ask how to handle something, and then she would twist all that and try to make me out to be the bad guy. No, sorry. I'm not the one that wanted to be the rock star. I'm not the one that wanted to be the head of attention and be the teacher's pet. That's Lisa. She didn't like if Robbie gave attention to somebody else. She had to be the know in the know. I could tell you so many things that behind the scenes that I have seen and call out Robbie. No, not my problem. It will catch you up and bite you in the ass. It already is. For Rosie, there was no lie. Me and Rosie butt heads on George's channel. She wanted to mod and this and that. And then she couldn't see and this and that and people in the chat. And I happened to just take it over. And then, yes, Rosie makes comments in the chat and everybody felt that way. And for Lisa to sit there and say Lisa had no issue over that. Lisa was the first one to complain. But she was a mod. She couldn't block Rosie. She didn't like it. We would just tell Robbie the problems. Okay? But I did have a talk with Rosie. I was truthful with Rosie. But Rosie also knows that she can be difficult and hard to get along with at times and just say what she says without thinking. But at that moment, me and Rosie had come to be peaceful. And before that, I did not want Rosie on my channel. I did kind of get pressured into it because Lisa did not want to add anybody on her lives, especially Rosie. So she figured we'd let Rosie come on mine and do diamond art. And yes, the day of the live, I was nervous because I went back and forth and the things that Lisa was saying. But I will agree, after the live happened, everything went smooth. And we had a good time with Rosie. I was shocked. But again, like I said, after that, I had a conversation with Rosie right before the shit hit the fan with me and Lisa. And me and Rosie seemed to come to some understanding. And I apologized for certain things. And so did she. And that was that. But whatever Lisa sinks her teeth into, and tells people, and these people that believe her and can't open their eyes and see who she really is. You will one day. You will, because if you get close to her or you do something to cross her, she will come after you. Mark my words. And if you can't see how she's raising money and using the funds for something and want to keep doing it and not see that it goes in her pocket and that she wants to claim and not that she's used the funds for this and that was it. You're never going to get the truth out of her. I can even tell you when I was down in Florida, she told me she had all this money in the bank and took me for looking at properties. I didn't say this one to you. Let's go drive and look at empty lots, because she was going to buy one of those pre-made houses that drop in and put it on the lot. And she was supposed to have this by now. Where's that house, Lisa? How come you've been evicted out of every house? Want to tell people why? Well, we already know why, because you never paid your bills, which that came out and she told me. You want to know where she moved when she was in George's chat, saying that she was moving houses and having this beautiful house and she was set up. And she was telling everybody how she's set up in this beautiful house. She was living in a motel when I met her. Because where she moved from Daytona, she was living in some guy's black shed. No lie. That they only did, Gabe did work for this gentleman that known him for less than a month. And he was only allowed to have somebody on his property for 30 days. And they had nowhere to live. And the old guy felt bad for them and let them stay there. But when 30 days came up, their stuff stayed and they had to leave. So they came down to the villages because of the palm trees. The palm trees that looked up and needed to be trimming. And that Gabe could hustle jobs down there and go door to door, because people like to have their palm trees and have money. So she saw a gold mine. And that's what Lisa did when I met her. She sat in the truck with Gabe and drove around every day running the Two Lee's Landscape Company. And the only way Gabe was getting work was because Lisa was doing the calling after that and keeping up with the jobs. And when he needed equipment, she would set it up and she held his hand and he would go do the work. But there's many other stories that Lisa shortcut and had told me, and I kept my mouth shut, right down to where Lisa tried to cash a $2,000 check at the bank I was on the phone with. Well, Gabe went back and got cash from that woman. And Lisa went 2 times, and the bank wouldn't cash the check. And I heard it all. And Lisa almost got in trouble for that. Because she had no money, but she needed it, because she didn't think Gabe would come and take care of her while he was gone. Gabe used somebody to get the truck. Oh, you guys want to know that too? The truck that he has brand new when he was living where he was living, why he was relapsing. And as at the bar, some guy took him under his wing and decided to co-sign for him to get a truck, because the truck is in Lisa's name and she wasn't going to be left without a vehicle. But she doesn't drive. Her head is not functioning right, so she can't drive far. Because I drove the rental car everywhere. I'm just going to put it out here. I said my piece. I'm not going to go on and on. I have no reason to lie. I got into YouTube because Lisa. I started to enjoy it and gave me purpose in my life. And I thought doing the auctions just gave me, again, like I said, purpose. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting out and writing the spreadsheets and typing them up and totaling them and sending them off to Robbie and that. And they were never, ever incorrect. And you want to change that. And then you want to go dig up a background on me and tell everybody I'm such a criminal. And I have this long list on my things. People, do the work. I don't have a criminal history. I have one thing that happened to me 20-something years ago. I'm not embarrassed by it. I have no reason to lie about it. But that had nothing to do with anything with the auctions, or for me not to do the auctions, or involved anybody, or changed who I was, that Lisa tried to use and make me why I couldn't be a mod. All she ever did was tell me that if I ever crossed her, she would make sure that she buried me. And that's what she's trying to do. And for a while, I kept quiet. I let it get to me. I stayed in the backgrounds, and I didn't talk in the chat. Well, I'm not afraid of you, Lisa. And I'm not going to stay in the background. And I'm not going to sit there and not chat. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I don't lie. And the things that you ask me not to tell people, they're out there anyways. And you know what? They're out there because of you. You did it all to yourself. I didn't have to tell people. So you can keep blaming me all you want. But I know who I am and I know the truth. And people are seeing the truth now because you involved yourself into something that all you saw was a dollar sign. And that's all you wanted. And yes, your husband, I thought was a good person, has become even just worse like you. But admit it, Lisa, he's an addict. And he's a crook. And he doesn't do things right in his job. That's the other thing I'll tell you. And I had seen it 3 times down there. That he cuts corners, doesn't go back and finish jobs, and right down to his landlord where he was supposed to put a patio back there and buy all new pavers at the place they live, and they would take the money off the rent. Well, instead, he had leftover patio bricks that he was supposed to throw out from another place that he power washed and used back there, and then told the landlord that this was the cost of them that he bought to cut corners again. That's the type of person Gabe is. They scheme. He doesn't work very hard. He goes out there and makes some money, and then he sits there and blows it, or just to cover enough. And oh, I was gonna say I was done. And you want to talk about your crystals, Felisa. You wanted to attack me when I stole crystals, and I have invoices, and I can prove it, and all that. I know where you buy your crystals. You never wanted me to go on where you bought the crystals because why would you give your secrets away? But Robbie was allowed to go buy stuff and see it from there. But I was there enough to watch and hear you buy them and also know how much you bought them for because me and you had made price sheets and we marked them and whatever. But did you ever follow your price sheet? No. Because you just spew out prices for whatever you choose to when you're selling. That way, who cares? And you would get mad at your own cousin because she would come up and sell something either cheaper or a little bit more or have the same object and you didn't like it. You told me my crystals were marked up too high, but I marked them the way I was taught to being for 3 times the cost, which makes sense to make your money back for what you paid for it, make a profit, and be able to put back in there to rebuy. It's just a circle around to go there. But Lisa, she'll buy something that is for $3 and charge it for $60 and tell you you're getting a steal. Now, I will say the crystals are real where she gets them from. They're beautiful, but they're nowhere near what she charges you. So you guys keep thinking about that one. But let her keep saying that. Because then if you think about it too, she'll discount it later. Why could she discount it when it's not going? Because she just spews a price out and hopes that you'll pay that price. And then if you don't, she'll mark it down. And it's still way higher than she bought it for. So you want to say I bought stuff off Temu, honey? No, I didn't. Good luck. I have invoices. Okay? But I'm going to leave it at that. I can sit here. I'm going to post my evidence that if you want. I have the sheets. I can prove my Cash App. I can prove things with Shadow. I love you, Shadow. I miss you dearly. She's always in my heart. I know who she really cared about. So you can get that out of your mouth too there, Felisa. You can stop talking about my son. Leave my name out of it, period. Because your pattern is just to attack people. You don't belong on YouTube. You're nothing but a liar, unethical person, no good, scheming, and you're just going to crumble and fall. And me, I'm going to keep striving and moving forward, no matter what my disability is and holds me back. But I'm a fighter, and I'm going to keep getting strong, and I'm going to try to plan to come back. I would like to do crafts again, and I'm not letting Lisa hold me down no more. I release all that pain and anger. So I don't care. Keep talking about me or not, Lisa. I'm not listening no more. Tell whatever lies you want because I know the truth, and I know many people don't believe you. So the people that are there and Robbie and Slobby, you guys can have each other. That's all I'm going to say. I said my piece. I was on here for almost 45 minutes, I think. Thank you for listening to me, guys. I appreciate it. I know it was all over the place. I said whatever, but I'm going to make a timeline and either post it or write it out or something, and I'll work on that. But I needed to get this out because of her other live. So, again, people watching in the background, I hope this reaches more people. Thank you for listening. I love you too, Peggy. I love you guys all that has supported me and stood by my side. And I hope that this channel can come back and we can have some fun times and be what it used to be. Bye, everyone.